for me, and again for most people of our generation, our influencers are people on YouTube. Slightly before that would have been bloggers. You know, you've got, again, because you said the internet makes the world a smaller place.
Yeah.
That is where we all see our inspiration nowadays. And for me, I think big inspirations are people like Casey Neistat, and people with that same attitude, which is very, I don't want to say counterculture, because it's almost taking over at this point, but it's just this idea of being able to do things for yourself. And I mean, to use him as an example, Casey Neistat isn't doing what I'm doing. He's not a nomad. He's not doing that. He is very rich, and he lives, in a nice apartment in New York. But his
has
attitude,
a lot of stuff as well.
He has a lot of stuff. But it's that core value of, this is what I want to do it, and I'm going to do it my way.
And I guess in that sense, you're right in saying it's not counterculture, because it's almost a culture. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like you just aren't allowing the culture to influence your behaviour. You're just literally doing what you want to do as an individual.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, for it to be counterculture, you'd have to be going against the culture, almost like against the culture. But you're more just saying like, no, I'm just removing myself from it. I
guess, but I mean, I think 10, 15, 20 years ago, that kind of lifestyle would be seen as counterculture.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was very rigid, that was reserved for the hippies and the weirdos. You went to work, you got a house, you had babies, that was life. And that's still very much prevalent now, but I think it's shifting more to a 50-50 kind of balance.
Yeah.
Because of not only the influence of things like YouTube, but the freedom that gives you to be who you are, and whatever it is that you're passionate about, you can make into a business, you can share with people, you're going to influence people. Being an influencer is a thing now that I guess used to exist, but in a very different format. It's open to everyone now.
Yeah. And do you think that is to do with like the ability of social media to give people, the average person, a loud enough voice to reach people? Because before that would have been really difficult to do. A lot of people gathered their information on the world and all that stuff from either big people in the community because they couldn't leave the community because it was impossible to, or writers, which were usually academic people. So there was a lot of this sway towards this kind of like person who would be held up, and the average person wouldn't really get a voice. You'd have to work really hard to get to that point. But now it's kind of like every person can have a voice that can be quite loud.
Yeah, definitely. I think it allows, it just equalises the field. Everyone can get there. There's no one that couldn't make a name for themselves and have a voice and influence other people. And it was interesting, actually. Peter McKinnon, do you know who he is? Yeah, prevalent name on YouTube. And he actually did a collaboration.
He's a magician.
Magician?
Yeah. He worked with The Illusionist for a long time.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he made their videos.
See, interesting enough. Like, you can... The internet allows you to switch. I've only ever known him as a photographer and videographer.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he did a lot. Do you know Adam Wilbur?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Adam Wilbur. He did a lot of... he did all of his fire videos and stuff like that. He was... Yeah. Do you remember that video we did for me to become... Mm-hmm. Yeah? That was to replace Peter McKinnon.
Oh, right.
So he left Illusionist, and then that was the role that would have been filled.
Naturally, you were the new Peter McKinnon.
Yeah, but that video was one nowhere near Peter McKinnon.
We'll stick a link to that in the show notes or whatever it is that you do with podcasts.
It's not a bad video.
It's a pretty good video. It's fine. It holds up.
It's not as good as Peter McKinnon stuff though. No.
But anyway, to come back to my point. He recently did a collaboration with a much smaller YouTuber who had something like 3,000 views. But his point was that you don't have to have a huge following or anything.
Yeah.
But the whole collaboration was about this idea that you can have a big impact as anyone. Whoever you are, you put something out there, you can impact a person. You can change someone's worldview, you can change someone's life, their perspective, anything.
It's not about the numbers, is it?
It's not about the numbers, and
this
it's
is
not...
a big thing I'm learning, in particular with my work, because obviously I work on a mental health unit, and my approach is very much like, if I can have a profound effect on just one person, if one person can leave the ward, whether it's me or us as a team, but if someone can leave the ward and they've changed their lifestyle to be better, they leave the ward and they don't have any mental health issues again, all that stuff, then that's enough of a change for me to warrant doing the job. And I think that's lost on a lot of people, that kind of
I definitely
idea.
think it is. Yeah.
Most people care about how many views they're getting rather than how profound their message is, or how much of an impact they have, or how even just making someone laugh. It's about how many people are watching.
And this is similar for me as well. Like, this is only recently something I'm trying to put more attention into, is this idea that you don't have to change everyone's life. Impact is impact, no matter what scale it's at.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really where the internet should have taken us. I feel like we've veered off path a bit, and everyone's become obsessed with the numbers game. But hopefully that's swinging back round, and people are going to start to realise that it's a tool for improvement. And if every person does something that improves one other person's life, that's the whole world changed. It's small scale, but that's what works.
That is a recent thing that I felt about Home Tree. And the reason that I felt that way about Home Tree recently was because Chasta, Jareth's mum, was showing, because she works in the crisis team.
Yeah.
And she was showing one of my colleagues those videos. And they were like, that's been something that's stuck with me. For some reason, even if I don't show people the videos, for some reason, they're like, oh, Luke, here's the videos he made when he was 16. And it's like, okay, those are things that people find entertaining enough to when they think of me, they think of that.
Yeah.
And then they go back and they watch it, and they have rewatch value clearly, because they keep showing people, and that's kind of like the same thing, Like, it's not a massive impact. It's not it's not like a revelation or anything, but it's just a bit of fun for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And that's the point. Is it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 5 years. Like, you've had an impact. Something you have done has impacted someone else's life in a positive way.